One of the most popular sports in the world is played in organized leagues by over 225 million people and has pickup games by many more. The great game of basketball was invented just over 100 years ago and has blossomed to become an incredibly popular sport not only in the United States but around the world. Basketball has been a part of my life since I was 6 years old when my stepdad introduced it to me, and since he's introduced it to me, I've had a love for the game. As winter approaches, people want to stay warm but need to stay physically active, and what better way to do that than start up playing basketball? The way I look at it is if you're going to pick up a new sport, you better know its roots. Basketball has truly evolved over the years. From starting out with the peach basket nailed to a pole to the NBA and everything in between, I'm going to explain to you guys how basketball got to where it is today. It all started out in 1891 in Springfield, Massachusetts by the guy named James Naismith, who was a soon-to-be preacher. He was put in charge of the physical education program at his local YMCA. They needed a new sport, it was winter, and he had to think of something for them. So he recollected some of the games from his childhood, and he remembers one of the games was him and his buddies would stand from a distance back and try to throw a rock and ball into a basket. So he thought to himself, I'll get a box, I'll put it up on a pole, and try to make it harder for them to shoot the rocks and balls into that box. Unfortunately for him, there were no boxes around, but fortunately for us, there were peach baskets. So he decided to nail a peach basket up there and started it up. A week later, he sat down and wrote the official rules of basketball. What's crazy is a lot of these still apply today. So, of course, after he got his rules published on December 21st, 1891, he, of course, like anybody else, once the sport's published, he wants to have the first official game. So he grabs 18 guys from his YMCA and tells them to play. The final score of that game, crazy enough, was 1-0. After that first game was played, everybody was hooked, and they wanted to continue playing that game and spread it and show it to their buddies. The YMCA has played a huge part in the transition and the expansion of the popularity of basketball. A lot of these men would grow up, graduate from the YMCA, and go on with their lives. A lot of these men would eventually join the Army, which is how the game got crazy overseas. World War I started in 1914, and a lot of these men that were deployed were sent to Europe and wanted to take things with them that reminded them of America. One of these things was their boyhood game that they loved was basketball. A lot of these guys didn't have enough guys on a team to play, so they would grab some of the locals and ask them to play the game with us and introduce it to them. From then on out, that popularity spread like wildfire, and the game got crazy overseas. Like I said, the game developed quickly after World War I, and the first official international game was played in 1909. It was between St. Petersburg Jamaica and a YMCA American team, and actually America lost in that game. From that popularity, it grew, and the formation of the International Basketball Federation, or known today as FIBA, got to where it is today. The game of basketball, like I said, spread in popularities, which led to professional leagues and to the game that we know and love today. The first professional league was known as the National Basketball League. It actually only consisted of 6 teams and was founded in 1904, but didn't get abolished until 1946. Other leagues around that time, 1920s and 30s, which tried to keep up with the National Basketball League, included the Eastern Basketball League, the Metropolitan Basketball League, and the American Basketball League. All of these leagues would soon dissipate after the formation of the NBA. The NBA was founded in New York City on June 6, 1946, and it was originally known as the Basketball Association of America. After, like a few months later, before the season actually got started, they ended up merging with the National Basketball League in 1946, combined the two names, and got to where we are today as the National Basketball Association. A lot of the more entertaining aspects of the game that we know and love, including the three-point shot, a lot of the loose freestyle play, was introduced to the NBA when it was merged with the American Basketball Association in 1976. And from then, with these professional leagues, a lot of kids in a lot of cities where these teams were loved the sport, and it spread, and it became as popular as we know it today. From a peach basket nailed onto the pole to the international fame of players like Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, basketball has truly evolved in a short time to become one of the world's most popular sports. If you decide to try a new sport this winter, or have played basketball before but never knew its roots, hopefully this helps you understand where it came from. For me, knowing where this sport came from just a short amount of time makes me love it even more. Thank you.